y'all doing? Let me know if my audio is good, as always, because as I'm sure you guys remember, it's never the same. It's never the same twice. I seem a little quiet. Check. Let me just get a little closer. Let me get a little bit closer. Sorry for the rocky start, everybody. How we doing, Martin? Todilis? Simple Sam. Good to see you all as always. Hope we're all doing well, especially as we get Enigmatic Onion. Hey, especially as we get a little closer to the holiday. Everything's starting to like wind down, right? Starting to relax a bit. I hope we're all having a good time. Yeah, cool. So, without further ado, our giveaway this week is going to end up being 3 months of Splice, which is great. So you can like get my Splice pack, there's some other cool ones on there, but like obviously you're going to get mine. It's called Weekend Gloss. If you're interested, actually, jokes aside. So yeah, if you guys, I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with the way that we do our giveaways at this point, but just like to remind you, don't forget about our classes here at 343 at the physical schools. Check out our websites, deals, holidays, etc., etc. Pretty sure that checks it off the list. So last time we were messing with Tchaikovsky's Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies MIDI and trying to kind of turn it into a piece of music that doesn't resemble the original style. So we were kind of going with like a trappy future bass sort of feel. And I think after going volume a little bit low, but that could just be me. Let me do it like this. So that track that we were doing last time, I went and played back, and I do actually like where it was headed. So we're going to stick with it for now. Let me just add a couple of decibels to my mic line here. Check 1, 2. Yeah, that should be a little bit better. So yeah, good plug, right? Sorry for my phone being like right under the microphone. That's not professional. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's switch on over to Ableton. Hopefully I don't mess up my OBS commands. So you're never gonna hear the end of that from me until they get sorted out. I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up, make sure nothing's wrong. I'll play this back so you can kind of remember where we left off, and then we're just gonna jump right in, man. I just want to make some music today. I'm not gonna get super complicated. I'll answer any questions you guys got in the chat, but other than that, let's just groove out. Let's just make a little bit of music today. So here's a little reminder where we're at. Again, let me know about audio. Streamer window, I had to check the audio. And then that's kind of a little bit where we left off. So we didn't really get a chance to dive into this, I guess, drop, I guess you'd call it these days. One of the kids calling it these days. And so that's really probably what we're going to focus on here a little bit. I did make like one change before I played this back from what we all remember from last time, which is I took the melody out of the intro. Remember what I was saying about how when we're kind of doing this, this melody that we're messing with is so familiar. Like everyone kind of knows what this is when I start playing it. And so we don't necessarily need to give it to, the listener in the way that they've heard it before. So I'm going to let some of these harmonies, ring out by themselves in a way that they don't really do in the original, and let the melody really take over during this moment. We can break this apart and kind of repurpose this. It's a remix after all, at the end of the day. So yeah, I think the build is missing some things. So some rhythmic stuff that, we can definitely get some use out of. I think also this whole entire intro bit is maybe a little bit short, a little bit less than 40 seconds up to the main section of the song. Seems like we could maybe do a bit more. And I think the way that we're going to accomplish that is by repeating this part a couple more times, or at least maybe one more time. We'll see if we like it. And we're going to use that to introduce our drums a little bit earlier. So I think I can just copy the first 2 drums because they get a little bit different over here, right? Well, I guess we can probably extend it all the way out. Yeah, there we go. And from here, you know, we just want to maybe make sure that some automations that we have going on aren't busted anymore. Some of the effects that got copied over may be a little weird. So let's see what we got going on in the violin. Synth. Nope, that seems all pretty fine. Yeah, so something like this. This is maybe where I'd choose to like let this stay up. This like a high pass or low pass filter that we had on here. I'm gonna leave this open so that in this section it can seem a little bit bigger. Let's see how that sounds. Oh dear. Seems like we have some like pitch bends going on. So this is a problem that Ableton has had for since the dawn of pitch bends in Ableton. I'm sure if you guys have been doing this for a while, you've run into this issue before. They keep promising that they're going to fix it. I'm looking at you, Ableton. There's a lot of things. I've got a list now. I'm starting to build a pretty big list of things you got to fix. Guys, please, I'm dying over here. But the pitch problem is one of those things. So if you have a pitch bend going on in one of your sounds and you pause your song kind of in the middle of that pitch bend happening, and then you kind of click around in another part of your song where the synth you were bending the pitch of doesn't have that automation going anymore, you can hear my synths are out of tune. And this time around, they've been fixed. So I've gone in and clicked into the MIDI control. And so because I'm focusing on this line, it's gone in and sorted itself out. However, you heard the first time I played this through, those were like way pitched up because of what was going on in the pitch here. So I'll try and mimic this problem for you. My pitch bend is here. So see how I've kind of paused it halfway through this pitch bend? Let me go and play the beginning of this now. That's wrong, right? So that sounds kind of cool, but it's definitely wrong. No, I hate Christmas tunes. Uh-oh. Well, this will be fun. Sorry. So we want to fix that, right? So other than Ableton kind of, you know, at least getting a little bit better with when you click on it, it's going to sort itself out. We could always put a little pitch adjustment here at the very beginning of the song to kind of trigger it to hit 0 again, right? So we have just at the very beginning of this first clip in the track, it goes from 0 to 62 to 0 in a place that there's no audio. Or there's no sound, so this isn't going to actually impact the track, but anytime I restart from the beginning, if I have that pitch bend problem going on, it's going to sort that out immediately. Yeah, so I like this better. I think what we can do here now is focus on the drums in this moment and then really let the drums from this section be more build alike, right? So less like this is actually kind of the verse, I guess if you want to call it, and more like it's the pre-chorus or the build. So that's how we're going to start with this. Simple Sam asks, is this pitch thing a problem with MPE as well? You know what? I actually am not 100% sure. Particularly, I don't have an MPE controller, so anytime I ever go into the MPE mode, to be honest with you, the only thing I'm really adjusting is the individual pitch of each MIDI note, which I think is probably what you're referring to anyway, of that MPE stuff. Like if I were to click on this tab here, and we can kind of look at the individual pitches of these notes. I'm not 100% sure if it causes a problem here. I kind of don't think so, but, you know, it's Ableton, so you never know. All right, so I do want to focus on the thing that leads into our descent, as Simple Sam calls it. But I'm doing that first because I want to make sure that that's right before I really work on this section, because otherwise I'm maybe going to have, you know, not the right idea for it. Totalist asks, is there a Waves plugin you could use for pitch bend? Sort of. I mean, a Waves tool called Sound Shifter is a pretty cool just general pitch bend. However, sometimes automating this thing sounds a little bit strange in real time. And you can hear that the effect that this has is, you know, just like any sort of like pitch warping, going to add a little bit of artifacts to the signal and kind of lower the quality. Sometimes it's cool, but it sounds like this. Whoops. So I actually really love this tool for sound design just because it's kind of a unique algorithm for pitch bend. Like it doesn't really sound the same as pitching it in Ableton, doesn't really sound the same as using another third-party tool. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Looks like Simple Sam says Waves is giving away R bass. I like R bass. R bass is a good one. Help you with your bass instruments and your kick drums and stuff. It's really solid. Let me make sure I get rid of this before we keep working. Okay, so I want to add a couple of cool percussive, drum sounds that really help accent what's going on here. And I really want to build drums in this section. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on first. I don't know why I have all these empty tracks here. Did I copy a sidechain around? Looks like I did, so I don't really need this anymore either. All right, cool. So let's mess with some audio stuff. I'm going to layer in these MIDI drums with some extra audio things because I think that'll be cool. And I do want to lean into kind of how trappy this sounds, I guess. So I'm going to add a couple of like hi-hat trills here. Things like this. And then let's go triplet mode here, because, who doesn't love a good old triplet hi-hat? I'm feeling weird today. I don't know why I'm acting like this. I apologize. All right. Cool. I like the duple meter up against the upbeat like violin things we got going on there. Kind of like throws you off before we drop it back into our pre-chorus. And I lied to you earlier. I said I was going to do extra drums in audio, but I am now going to do it in drum rack because it's the way I work, and it also means that I can just drag a whole bunch of samples from a folder I already know the extension of. And yeah, so this is like, I don't actually remember, and I'm terrible for this, but I renamed this sample pack the Trap Pack to help me find it in the future, like I do. But what this used to be is a drum machine, like an old school drum machine. Like if I get rid of the search feature and show you what else is in this folder, we got like Roland TR1 prototype, Roland JV2080 prototype, a huge amount of things. And each one of these folders contains a variety of different drum machines just kind of resampled inside. But I don't remember which one this is because I renamed it and I have no idea how to find that again. So bummer. It's my favorite one. By the way, this drum machine drums, this is an online library that's free to download stuff, and you can download the giant set all at once, and they continue to add drum machines to the list. It's kind of like a historical archive of every drum machine sound from a digital drum machine they can get their hands on. So for those of you who like those old analog drum machine sounds, I highly recommend you go check that out. When I go to and remember this, for the end of the stream, when I put our see you next time screen up, I'll go and get the link for you guys and include it. Well, at least include it the best way I can in the YouTube chat, because it doesn't really let me post links, but I will give you guys some sort of access to that. So it's cool. But for now, I'm just going to go into this pack I like. I'm going to go into the electronic perk section. I think, I don't know, acoustic perks are still pretty electronic, so maybe I'll stick to these. In fact, maybe I'll just grab a few from each, right? So I'll just highlight a chunk of these. Oh, that's way too many. I will highlight a chunk of these and just drag it over one of the pads in drum rack, which allows me to put multiple samples down, which is obviously helpful for speed. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm grabbing, but I gotta believe that with the amount I have here, we will probably find something that is usable. Now, bear in mind, if you collect all and save your project with something like this going on, it's going to save every individual drum sound in this drum rack into a folder. So be careful about how you're using these, because you could potentially fill up your computer pretty dang fast, and you don't really want to do that. So maybe, don't do as I do every day, every time. But otherwise, this can be kind of a handy trick to get in there faster. Okay, scroll, por favor. There we go. All right, this is enough. It's basically a full drum rack, so I gotta believe. And I really just want to have a couple of unique drum sounds that aren't really part of the consistent fundamental drum kits, right? So this looks like a disaster, obviously, but you know, as I scroll through, you can see just a variety of normal percussive sounds that we might, you know, expect to find. I like these claps, especially for the intro. So one thing to note is because these are resampled from a drum machine, they're going to have like some silence at the beginning of samples sometimes, and also there might be a little pop at the end of the sample from where the recording jumped or got cut. So we might have to move these a little bit just to make them fit into the track. It's fine. Not a big deal. So just little sound effect things, right? Like we're trying to add some ear candy to this moment in the song. But I don't necessarily want to overlap this stuff where we already have things going. There we go. That's pretty good. What's up, Xenopus? Xenopus? Like an octopus, but with a lot more. I'm not really explaining what I'm doing because you can see I'm just really experimenting a little bit with some of this percussion. Here's something they changed for Ableton 11 that kind of gets my goat, grinds my gears. Whatever idioms, right? So if you wanted to, you know, use a line of best fit to adjust these velocity values back in the day, you just hold Option, you click and drag. No problem. If I do that now, it just highlights. Nothing happens. It's like they just undid that option. Now you have to go into Bensel mode, B for Bensel, and then hold Option and do it. Now, if you've ever heard me talk about Ableton, I hate Bensel mode. Like this Bensel tool drives me up the wall. I don't like using it for anything except for certain automation tricks. And so, yeah, them forcing us to switch to Bensel mode to do those lines of best fit in the velocity flags down here, send in an email. I want to talk to the manager. Cool. That's kind of what I was looking for. That's fine. Let's go down this time. It didn't really go down. What's up, Mark? What's up, Bill? Oh, never mind. I already said what's up. And then I want to layer our triplets over here with something. Uncool, Ableton, uncool. Yeah. It's kind of how I feel on a daily basis. Especially, like, they still make little updates every now and then where they'll change something. Like, you know, the reverse button used to be a button that said reverse, and now it's a tiny little button that have just two arrows going two different directions. And it's like, it seems like a step backwards, and I'm always thinking to myself, like, why did they spend the energy and the money to step backwards? All right, so again, triplets, doing some triplets here. I'm not 100% sure what I want here. Hey, what's up, Michael? Oh yeah, so Bensel is great for gate on and off. When I was saying I only use Bensel for a couple of like automation tricks, that's exactly what I was talking about. That on and off option. It like puts down 4 points for you without having to click 4 points in. Yeah, that's like mwah, Bensel, but like no. Other than that. You need something kind of snare-esque. I guess this is okay. We'll see if we can get away with it. Nope, definitely not. I want to fix it though. It's called ePerc 123. All right, we find on the list. I promise it's not that bad. ePerc 123. It's like Dora the Explorer. There it is. All right. I just need to fix this to make it do what I wanted it to do. So tiny little sound. Better. All right, great. Perfect. It sounds great. That's what I wanted. I just need to make these a little bit more intense. So I'm going to add saturation here. I'm going to add a little bit of a low cut because otherwise the saturation is going to be just swamped in low end. And then after, I know this is just like playing over me, sorry. Afterwards, I'm going to add stereo wideness to this entire track. And that might be, you know, not the best move, but I'm doing it out of speed. I want a little distortion on these sounds. That's fine. It's also kind of helping with the dynamics of the signal. Did I just put that in the right place? I didn't even put that in the right place. I'm like actually losing my mind. Didn't even hear a sound. All right, cool. That's better. And then we're going to use utility tool. I know this is going to seem weird. This is going to seem weird. Oh, camera. Am I good? I'm back. Click the mono button. And then add a delay tool. I'm doing this like very Ableton native way. I would probably be using different devices for this poisonally, but you've seen me use trash and stuff before. I don't need to. Keep it OG for the Ableton people out there. All right, so there you go. This is like our Haas effect, right? Where I'm delaying one of the sides. Right, and because I made it mono first, like this is going to really force this to sound the way I was looking for. I think we get this through YouTube. I think YouTube's got good stereo with the way we stream, so we shouldn't have any issue with this. Maybe get a little bit more high end in there in the meantime. Get rid of some of those like really like noisy tones. All right, cool. She's probably gonna be a little better. Great, okay. It's the only thing I need to do is turn up that little snare roll thing. Otherwise, this is sounding a lot more like what I was looking for. And this is just kind of acting as, you know, a little bit of fodder to keep this interesting. So I'm going to maybe try and sneak in a little melody here. I don't know, we'll think about it. But now we're going to go into more build-like drums. So I'm going to leave these going. I'm going to turn this clap up. So I want to add some sort of build here. Now, I'm not going to go into the cymatics pack and get a pre-made fill. I'm not doing it. We're going to make one. We're gonna make one. But what I am going to do is go into the Lex Luger pack. Oh yeah, I do still have it. Look at that. And we're going to get a very, very familiar snare from the Lex Luger pack. Which is like, you know, kind of the first super popular trap pack. I think I kind of like this one. We'll try it out. And really, we're just going to do kind of like a standard EDM-esque snare build here. But but I'm going to make this feel a little bit more like marching drums. So we're going to do some rolls and some fills and stuff. So when you're doing this in audio, it's actually a little bit easier because we can just, you know, make our fill and then consolidate all this. And then we can go in and do pitch bend in there, or we can just use this fade feature to kind of, you know, have that kind of fade in like that. So this is pretty nice. I wanted probably that. It's weird to do this type of rhythm so slow, but I think we'll figure it out. I want to add another one of these before somewhere. There we go. And then we just kind of let this pick up speed. I don't want to kill the roll with this, so I'm just going to paste that right over top like that. Maybe. No, okay, I can't get away with that. That's okay. Now we get faster and faster and faster, right? I hope that's what you were referring to, Michael, not the whole song. It is a little bit slow, I guess, but yeah. So now we want to do, whoops, a little too fast there. Full 16th notes. Oh, which we don't actually fill a whole 16th note with this sound, which is a little frustrating, but it's not allowed. And then we get one of these and do even faster. We'll see. We might choose to cut this early depending on like what our filters decide to do. Oh, forgot about our triplets, didn't I? Shouldn't be doing that. All right, so instead, we'll let these be triplets. Oh, I also totally forgot about this whole section over here. So in fact, we're gonna chill out on these ones a little bit, and we'll let that happen over here. So instead, I just want to follow this. Okay, this is gonna work out. Ah, pitch bend. So we're gonna walk this back a little bit towards the end so it doesn't go crazy. And we'll maybe let it stop right there. In which case I could always use this snare to kind of help cut it. Which is a little hard. This snare is like, it's because of that, the BWB Streets 5. Where is that? This has got very harsh frequencies in it. I fixed with an EQ. I'm not going to turn it down. Although that could be also a solution to this problem. At least a band-aid solution to the problem. But I think I can find that oh, come on. I think I can find that frequency and that will make the snare sound better. Like those ones are just angry, man. heavy EQing. It's so loud. I'll sing a little reverb. Okay. All right, so we are going to filter this stuff around. You know, it's one of these after all. So we're going to do a high pass filter on the way up to here. Wait, my camera went away again. Why does this happen? Hello? Hello? Okay. Should be back. This pitch bend problem, it's really getting to me. All right, so then we're gonna do a low pass filter at the beginning, right? So we'll start like this. Still not super cool with what's happening here, but I think some of these automations are going to cover this. So I do want to have some big reverb stuff happening to the snares as well. So I'll probably just use a fairly default reverb like that. And well, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with the reverb yet, but we'll play around with a couple different automations here. I swear this. I think we're also going to use a frequency shifter. I just want to kind of like demolish this snare roll momentarily. Are you using a DSLR camera? My Canon shuts off after 30 minutes of inactivity. It is, in fact, a Canon T3i from 2009. I can't even believe that the Canon ESO utility even works with the thing. I've been promising you guys I'm going to get a new camera for a long time now, and I've just been lying. Bold-faced lying to you about getting a new camera. No, I will eventually, and or find a solution to this. But yeah, for now we gotta see our little Canon utility tool pop up every now and then. All right, cool. So remember, our frequency shifter is gonna change the pitch of something differently than you would be used to, just with a regular like warp pitch shift, right? It's based on ratios. So I want to use this to add some tonality to the end. Right, so now it's got this going on. Right, went a little high there. Don't necessarily want to go too far above 1,000 for something like that. Maybe went a little low here as well. Personally, just adjust the aperture to avoid the shut off. So like, do you have to like reach over and like tap the camera to do that every now and then? I haven't really thought of like a non-invasive way to keep that from happening. Also, I'm not even 100% sure if that will fix the problem, because it seems kind of inconsistent when it does it. Like when I'm using the camera on like Zoom classes and stuff, it'll happen like, you know, 5 minutes apart or 2 minutes apart sometimes, and then it'll be like good for a whole hour. So I think it might just have something to do with my camera being way older than it should be for using it in this way. All right. I like this. I will also let the dry wet of this frequency shifter down a bit as we go. Which does kind of mess with that, obviously, but we're going to let some of that transient through, which I want. This is already sounding a lot better for sure. I want to grab a reverse or like a pitched up sound, and I made one for my own sample pack like a trillion years ago. So I will just use that instead of clicking around or making one. Sound effects, sweeps, pitch riser, maybe EDM riser. Yeah, that's the one. I'm like genuinely, I'm done apologizing for the pitch problem, but it's happening a lot. I promise it's not me. Great, we're pretty much there. I just need one more reverse sound for this last moment, so I think I'll probably just take this other one and shorten the heck out of it. Whoop. Maybe even just do so by adjusting the pitch without warping on, because that's going to speed that up a lot, right? Yeah, it's pretty much like a firework. It's very high pitched. So at this point, I am going to turn that down in pitch a bit. It's a little better, and I'm putting this in. I'm actually going to copy the Haas effect we had on our percussion, because the like super high pitch bit of this EDM riser is in the right side, and I want it to be in both sides. So if I put it in mono first and then stereo widen it, it's going to cover both sides instead of just one. So same sort of thing. Cool. This snare hurts still. Okay, I think we're finally ready to move on to the drop, which we don't have as much time for today as I wanted to do. But there was some really important stuff that we were doing here to really make sure that this moment transitioned over here properly. Otherwise, it was going to sound just a little bit off. I like totally forgot we'd made that. Oh, I automate this off, don't I? Probably not the right move. See, this is what I use Benzel tool for. It's just these. That's about it. Okay, it is finally time. So once again, I mentioned that we are really like holding off until this moment of the song to let this main melody play through. So if I turn that off, right, we need something here that's carrying that melody along. So what I really want to do is find an instrument that works well for this melody. And I'm telling you right now, this Serum one I have here does not. In fact, let me just bring it back here. And I want to use that as kind of like a placeholder so I can build some bigger sounds around it. This is not bad, I just need to make it more present. All right, that's enough for now. just to help us build up what we want this pattern to be doing. And this genre, whether we're sticking to the trap side of things or sticking to the future bass side of things, definitely likes to be broken up and have like, you know, different sounds kind of jumping back and forth. So I like how it goes and lands on this hard downbeat, but then cuts immediately right away to, you know, the melody here. And I think this is also a good opportunity for a delayed drop, right? So we can put our kick drum there, but I really think that it's going to make sense to hold off on dropping these drums in for a little while. Right? That's way more interesting, right? It actually gives you a little bit of like, oh, like a little bit more suspense than this. Because like when we hear something like this build up, we've heard like this, like, oh yeah, snare drum getting faster over time. Like how many songs have we heard that in? Not to say we shouldn't do it, but like it's a very common, familiar thing. And so to splice up that drop a little bit makes it a lot more exciting when it happens. Right, so you can start to see why, you know, I'm going that route instead of just letting everything like land right when you expect it to. This is also going to give me a good opportunity to create some sounds for, you know, these impact moments. So, we're gonna go round 2 on, and in fact, I'm just gonna get rid of this entire track. Sorry, Serum, but not today. Not today. I'm going to try what we did last time that went very, very wrong one more time, but I'm going to just keep a very close eye on how I'm treating this device. And I'm going to save as I go, so that if I lose the thing that I'm working on, it doesn't go away and waste a bunch of time like last time. So if you remember what was happening, I would design a sound, I would minimize the program, and then I'd come back into the program and my sound would be initialized back to a default sound, and I wasn't really sure why it was doing that. I actually think now I might understand why it was doing that after a little bit of thought. And so what you'll notice is if I go into this MIDI, I might have actually gone and fixed this, but look, we have, yeah, I think, no, I didn't go and fix this. Okay, look, just by virtue of the MIDI being what it is, it has a bunch of these automations going internally, like reverb send level and sustain pedal and panning and channel volume. None of these I set, right? I think these are contacting Reactor in a way that is not accurate based on what, you know, they're labeled as here, and this is what's causing that reset to happen. So I need to go in here and make sure that all of these clip automations that are here causing issues go away. I'm gonna let that just stay on the other stuff we've got going on, just because I really think that this is what was causing the issue in Reactor. So there we go. Now we've got no automations here, nothing is happening, so we should be good to go. I'm going to copy this into our Reactor synth and we're going to pray, right? Woo! It's a little higher than it needs to be and a little lower than it needs to be. Yeah, all right, no default synth style beat. All right, so I'm gonna reset this to default, and hey, it didn't do it on its own this time, so that's a good sign. And if you remember, I'm going to speed through this because I basically did it in front of y'all twice, but we're going to use our formant options here for our oscillators, for the multiple oscillators running. And we're going to use one of these comb, peak, or notch filters for kind of the movement in the track. I switch back and forth between notch and peak a lot, kind of depending on what is going on. Yeah, Simple Sam, I like when I have an answer for a problem. When something's going wrong and I don't have an answer for why it's going wrong, it gets me very nervous, for sure. So I'm fairly certain that solved the issue. So yeah, for those of you who download MIDI, just be wary to check the internal clip automations, because sometimes it comes with a bunch of stuff you don't need. Cool, so anyway, so format stuff on, we're going to pick a nice format size, and then we're going to turn our safe bass on and let that kind of be like the main body of the sound. But I definitely need to switch this from mono to poly and let more voices through. And I'm going to let this kind of play while we're working on it. I mean, that's pretty cool on its own, to be fair. Uh-oh, 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 anyone see what happened? Uh-oh, it reset my thing back to default. It's still happening. Oh my god. Okay. You know, I really wish I had an answer. Is it just the octave I'm in? Let's see. Single trigger, mono, poly, voice limit, max. It just reset itself. Okay. I was using this in like a client's project like just the other day. I don't actually like, there's no reason for this. Macros. I mean, nothing is attached. Is it just that? Or is it just everything? Automatic reset. That is so wild. Well, it was nice that I had figured that out, Simple Sam, but now... now it's looking like I didn't have it figured out at all. I mean, I don't want to just slip back into my, you know, natural blaming of Ableton, but I think this is an Ableton problem because I didn't change the software and the software was working fine 2 days ago. Yeah, there you go. Now it's immediately initializing this back to 0. Are there any automations on here? No, certainly not. Pitch, nothing's going on here. Okay. Do I have like a note that's like the farthest reaches of our MIDI? No. What if I, all right, the rest of the stream is now troubleshooting a Native Instruments device. So if I make a new clip and play it, is it just the spacebar in general that does it? No, wait. Those stayed. It's like something baked into this MIDI clip that is really messing with Ableton. And this is a level of troubleshooting that I've never had to do before. So I'm kind of like out of answers here. I'm not gonna lie. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Command J. I'm gonna copy the MIDI. I'm gonna delete all this. See you later. Create a new clip. Paste fresh MIDI into the new clip. Silence. What the heck? I'm looking. I see no reason. Okay, it's on. Doesn't seem to be resetting my things anymore. All right, we're gonna rock with it. We're gonna go for it. All right, so at the end of the day, just remember that when you download MIDI off the internet, remember this moment. It's the curse of the Plum fairy, right? Yeah. All right. So, okay, one last try. Formant, yep. Comb peak, comb notch, yeah, him, me. All right, so I like to have my slope all the way up and my cutoff kind of down, which is basically just a little bump in the mids and the lows, so it's not really acting like a low pass filter anymore. Troubleshooting is low-key one of my favorite parts of producing, like for real. Figuring these issues out is awesome. I mean, yeah, it feels so rewarding when you overcome something like that. I'm definitely there with you on kind of enjoying that process when it works out. When it ends up not working out, it can be a little frustrating, especially when I'm doing it in front of an audience, right? All right, so yeah, I'm gonna hit the space bar. It's silent. I think that might be okay. No, it's not okay. Yeah, it is okay. Okay. Is it just, it's our formant settings. Maybe? Oh, I see. Shape all the way up. That's why. Can't have shape all the way up. All right, so not just gonna go off for now. We're gonna pick a nice formant section that just has like textures we like the sound of. You can hear it's all very bright stuff. I can turn these off to kind of hear them individually. Okay, remember we have our cool reverb tool. Makes things very soft, because everything in this program is a unique algorithm. All right, so we're gonna mess with some envelopes here. Make this a little plucky. And we're gonna do a similar thing for envelope 2, which we're then going to apply to some different parameters around here. How does Razor compare with Pigments or Serum? So Pigments and Serum are very similar to each other, but neither of those are similar to Razor as far as like what style of synthesis is going on, right? So those are wavetable-based synthesizers that include other things like FM processing and other like wave shaping choices and like the additive and subtractive stuff. But Razor is a very unique synthesizer. Like I don't really have oscillators in the way that we're used to them. This is a little bit more like a modernized version of like what you would expect like an acid synthesizer to give you. It's very similar to, I guess, even closer to something like Poly, the native or the Max for Live one. Excuse me. But it's very unique. It's called 320 VO synthesis. I'm like fairly certain. I might just be like wrong straight through, but you know, you can find this information on their website. So if I'm not mistaken, it's more like filters applied to a sound that's constantly running versus actually like using a wave shape sent by an oscillator. But yeah, it's just really cool. It's got its own style. I don't ever really think that other synthesizers can really match the sound of this, but then vice versa, this can't really match the sound of other synthesizers either. So it's not an all-in-one tool, but it is very unique. So that's why I like it. And you can hear it's very bright because all of those high-end things are coming from partials, like very, you know, pitched sine waves, essentially. Oh, there it goes again. I think the comb peak is a little bit brighter, so for what we're doing, I think we'll probably just stick with it. And then this little section, it has like a whole bunch of really unique effects for stuff you can do to the signal. So, you know, metal, for example, bends the sound like this. Which is probably what I'm going to be doing here. This is kind of was my plan all along. You know, so to turn like basically a saw wave-ish sound into, you know, this very like bell-like. You can see there's only 3 partials going right now. So this is kind of like, you know, what you see when you're using Operator or another FM synthesizer, but a little different for sure. So I like this the way that it is for now. I'm going to add my favorite third-party multi-band saturator to this that also has like the Haas effect built into it. So boost the highs a bit. This is already a very harmonically kind of like sharp sound, but should be okay. For a little bit of saturation, and then I can spread it like this. Oh, good, my rhythm. Cool, so I'm okay with that for now. I also want to do a little bit of resampling. So I'm going to... Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. I'm going to resample our little violin sound that got pitched around. So the way that this looks, you know, we just put an audio track down, we tell it to grab audio from 5 Plum strings. Turn it on, hit the record button. Yeah, we got the Razor back. I didn't actually fix the problem, Mark. I just figured out how to avoid it. I didn't fix it, I avoided it. So I like this one, right? And I can kind of change the pitch of this, add more effects to this, and dot this around other places in this drop. Right, once you get this pitch down a little bit, it sounds very cool. Not 100% sure where I want these yet, but I do want them. I do actually like it there. Then maybe a reverse one at the end of this measure, something like this. But I'll change the pitch. Had to change the pitch of that one. You're gonna have nightmares of Ableton crashing and not working right and changing its quick commands and moving the panels around, and OTT is no longer a preset on multiband. No! Sorry. I'm going to copy this little like sound, which gets cut, and I think I'm going to uncut it a little bit later on because it's kind of cool. And I'm gonna kind of try and repeat the same thing with the different sections of the song, but I don't know. I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe have a problem with this, but we'll try. So this goes from a E to a C sharp, sort of. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to drag this all down, C sharp, and drag this down, C sharp. That doesn't sound right. Oh, you're my boy Umru? You know my boy Umru? Yeah. Umru's great. Crazy sound designer for sure. I don't reach out to him as much as I should, but all right. See, this just sounds wrong. That sounds right. That just doesn't sound right. You know, we need to find a different note that works there. So, and or just get rid of that, I suppose. Just let it be kind of like from the bass. And it sounds like it wants to be down one, right? Right? Still sounds wrong. All right, we have to get a little craftier than that. So what I'm going to do is resample once again. A lot of that going on. We're running out of time here too. And I'm going to resample kind of like where that second horn hit happens. Because this is essentially created by our reverb here. So I'm going to use this instead. So if it's E to C sharp, it should just be down 3. But it doesn't sound right, does it? Nope. Yeah, I think Umru's a little underground still, so I am excited. I love to see, you know, the crew from the old SoundCloud days. You know, there was like a whole bunch of us who were just kind of like talking and sharing music on SoundCloud way back in the day, and everyone has kind of like gone off to create their own careers in music, you know, regardless of what that means for them. And you know, Umru's been doing a lot of crazy stuff outside of his own project, but I think his project is still pretty like niche. But I love that. You know, this is even you guys are familiar with it. I saw 100 gex, Tony Velour, underscores in New York City last night. Huge fan of that stuff. Music, huge inspiration. Yeah, wow. I didn't even know. I mean, I feel like I knew about the underscores show. I just didn't know that it was also 100 gex and Tony Velour. That sounds like a sweet lineup. Also, 100 gex live. Like, I don't even know what the heck that would mean. But I gotta believe it's pretty fun. So yeah, cool. Well, I mean, yeah, what a shout out. I have the greatest crowd. You guys are the greatest audience for the 343 studio. All right. Maybe we just like layer these. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll let this one be a reverse, and then I'll come up with something new to do in the other section. What I could do is just do a big old pitch bend, right? So if I can't find the right note for it, just don't. Just make this thing turn into a sound effect instead. A little faster. A little faster. There we go. And louder also, right? Cheer. Is this the low HP Mario sound you're talking about? It reminds me of the small penguin you have to like grab and like carry down the ice like level to the mom, and you'd always like drop them off the edge where you're crossing the bridge. You know what I'm talking about. What's your splice pack again? I'll check it out tonight. It's Weekend Gloss. Like I'll put it in the chat. Splice pack is Weekend Gloss. So it's not like my Icarus Moth sample pack on Splice. It's a pack I created for Sunday Supply, I think is the label that put that out. So like 98 or 99% of the sounds in that pack are mine. I think they added like 2 or 3 other sounds to the pack that I didn't put in there myself, but like, yeah, pretty much the whole thing is mine. It is more leaning towards the like neo soul, like R&B kind of more acoustic style of stuff. But hopefully there's like a bunch of cool things, that, you know, you can use for a variety of different genres. There's, piano loops, guitar loops, pad loops, synth pad loops, bass loops, one-shots of all of those things. There's a bunch of drum loops, and then obviously one-shots of all of those drums as well, a bunch of one-shot percussion, and then like resampled sounds. So like we created a bunch of like guitar takes, synth takes, variety of things, like vocoder takes, variety of things like that, and then we resampled them. We like chopped them up and messed with them a little bit so that they weren't quite the same as just the dry stuff we recorded. So it's a little bit of like an old school style thing. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, what you could expect. Okay, so unfortunately I gotta leave us here. I'll save this for later. You know, I think the next time you'll see me is unfortunately actually after the holidays, so we'll see if we get back to this. But I did enjoy making this with you guys. Let me just play where we're at for the day, and then I'll send you on your way. Don't forget, we have a physical school here in the city. You know, New York City and or Berlin, depending on where you're local to. So, you know, check out our website if you want to join us here. You know, don't forget our giveaway is going to be 3 months free of Splice subscription, so you can get a bunch of credits. We were just talking about Splice. And otherwise, yeah, don't forget at the very end of the stream when I switch to the last, you know, closing thoughts window, I'm going to do my best to link you guys in the description for that drum machine historical archive that I was talking about. So yeah, let me play this back for you, and then I'll say goodbye. There you go. I forgot to copy some stuff, but that's it. So, all right, guys, I will catch you after the new year. I hope you all have a really lovely holiday. Whatever you celebrate, whatever creed you are. I appreciate you guys for always tuning in. Yay, 21,000 subscribers. Yay. Like, comment, subscribe. Yay. Okay. See you later, guys. All right, sneaking back on here to show you this website. This is what it's supposed to be, samples.kb6.de. And the website's a little bit like retro and purple, right? Have fun! All right, sneaking back on here to show you this website. This is what it's supposed to be, samples.kb6.de. The